Good morning. This is KELOLAND On the Go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
President Joe Biden announced on social media yesterday that he's withdrawing from the 2024 presidential race. In a statement, the president said, quote, "I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term," unquote.
Shortly after posting that statement, Biden took to social media again, saying he's offering his full support and endorsement toward Vice President Kamala Harris to be the Democratic Party's nominee for president. Biden is expected to address the nation about his decision later this week. You can find his full statement on KELOLAND.com.
Local Democratic leaders are now thanking President Joe Biden for his time in office.
KELOLAND News sat down with Dan Allers, the executive director of the South Dakota Democratic Party, yesterday to talk about Biden's decision to step down. The party now needs to make some big decisions with less than 4 months until the November election.
Of course, with the president endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris, that's something I know that our delegates will be looking at and considering very thoughtfully, since the president is throwing his support behind her. But we'll have to wait and see.
You can hear more from Allers and read the statement from the chair of the South Dakota Democratic Party on KELOLAND.com.
South Dakota's top Republican politicians are also reacting to news of Biden's withdrawal. Both Governor Kristi Noem and U.S. Senator John Thune posted on social media Sunday saying no matter who the nominee is for the Democratic Party, they believe it'll be the Republican Party that delivers change in November. Noem said Biden dropping out was the right decision for our nation.
Representative Dusty Johnson also posted on social media saying Biden made the right choice, but doesn't believe, quote, the fundamentals of the race will change. You can find the full statements from the South Dakota Democratic Party, as well as Noem, Thune, and Johnson here on KELOLAND.com.
Now let's get our first look at today's forecast with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Good morning, Brian.
All right, good morning. Our forecast today, a pretty warm day. We've got hazy sunshine. We're starting the morning with some fog, but I do expect that will lift. High temperatures, 86 today in Yankton, 87 in Mitchell, 90 our high in Phillip, and 89 degrees in Rapid City. We're going to carry a 20% chance of an afternoon thunderstorm from Aberdeen to Sioux Falls, even the Black Hills, a possibility of that as well. Futurecast and the rest of our 7-day outlooks coming up.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. A Rapid City man is facing charges following an incident involving shots fired early Sunday morning. A large police presence responded to an area on the west side of Rapid City after gunshots were heard in the neighborhood. Police say that the person responsible for the gunshots was barricaded inside a nearby residence. And after hours of maintaining communication with the suspect, authorities say they lost contact.
Local response teams entered the home and arrested 44-year-old Robbie Rambo on several charges. The Rapid City Police Department says there are no reports of injuries and are currently investigating. Sunday evening, the Minnehaha County Sheriff's Department responded to a single vehicle crash southeast of Garrettson. A UTV with 2 passengers was traveling north when it entered the ditch, causing it to roll.
One of the people on the UTV, a 16-year-old girl, was pronounced dead at the scene. A 30-year-old man was transported to a hospital in critical condition. The crash is being investigated by the South Dakota Highway Patrol.
Construction of more affordable housing is moving forward in Rapid City. The Camden Heights apartments to be built in this vacant area received approval from the City Council last week.
The project comes with a lower income threshold requirement, allowing more people to apply to live there. Plus, it's relying on green technology to help lower energy bills for its residents.
Interesting thing about this project is there's a solar field that's going to be part of this project to further bring down the utility costs. And another interesting thing about these apartments is 51 of them are dedicated to senior living.
This apartment complex will feature 252 1- to 4-bedroom units. Construction is expected to start next year. Sioux Falls claimed the South Dakota Little League state crown with a 16-2 4-inning win over Rapid City yesterday. It's the team's 3rd straight title. Sioux Falls came out of the losers bracket and needed to win 2 games on Sunday.
The team defeated Rapid City 8-3 in the first game of the day. Sioux Falls now advances to the Little League Baseball Midwest Region Tournament in Whitestown, Indiana, which runs August 2nd through the 9th.
That is a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right. Well, warming up today, our hourly planner here for Sioux Falls in the upper 70s. By 1 o'clock, I think we're into the low 80s this afternoon in Sioux Falls. And we'll start watching to see if we can brew up those 20% chances of rain, primarily coming in after 3 o'clock, maybe even closer to 6 would be a little more likely on that. That haze out there will be pretty common, the hourly temperatures. Western South Dakota will end up being a little warmer today. Rapid City closer to 90. And then watching that radar picture there by late afternoon and evening. If you look carefully, you can see a couple of cells. Could include Aberdeen, could include Huron, even Yankton, and southwest Minnesota. In fact, Minnesota counties might actually do a little better on that chance of rain, even possibly holding together overnight. We're seeing some evidence of that. So let's say for tomorrow, Sioux Falls area, another 20% chance of rain. I'm a little curious to see if this will come in line, maybe just a little bit better in the afternoon and evening. We've seen those signatures come and go, and this time of year, you just don't have a lot of forcing. The jet stream's pretty light. We don't see a lot of major fronts swinging back and forth, and so the radars tend to be a little more random. Those cells will kind of ricochet off of one another, and then a lot of it tends to dissipate at night. But Minnesota counties, by and large, seem to be a little bit better on the coverage compared to South Dakota. Now, what's happening next? Well, it's the hot weather. There's a lot of it across the Pacific Northwest into southwest Canada, and we think that over time, the likelihood of that pressure of that heat moving in will build. And so our 7-day forecast gets a little more momentum behind it. I'm thinking Sioux Falls area by the weekend will be in the low 90s. There'll probably be 100s in western South Dakota. And we're kind of it here by the start of next week. The northern plains will likely be the hottest compared to average. And I think we're going to continue that streak of hot weather into next week. So taking the next few days, I know it's warm and humid, but it's going to be hotter and above average here, it looks like, as we get to the end of the 7-day forecast. 87, that's our high today in Pierre, 82 in Brookings, 85 in Marshall. Forecast lows tonight, 64 Sioux Falls, that 20% chance of evening rain. Tomorrow we'll carry another 20% chance of rain in mainly the southeast. Don't forget, too, all the haze from those Canadian wildfires is still a factor in the forecast. One thing about that, too, it is interesting because there are cases where that haze, if it's thick enough, it actually does limit our high a little bit. But even having said that, I think we're probably on course for at least 90 by Saturday. Maybe we fit in some wind, a little breeze there on Friday. That's a little change, too. As we look at the overnight lows, do you see how those are climbing from the 60s into the 70s at the end of the week? And Aberdeen is hotter than Sioux Falls. That's another takeaway from the 7-day forecast as the heat comes in from Montana. Look at that for Pierre and Rapid. There's a lot of 90s coming up. Maybe we're close to 100 by Friday and Saturday. One other question we'll have to answer here at the end of the week is whether or not we'll catch some monsoon-type rains there in Montana and Colorado. See if that'll affect the Black Hills. More details on all of that at KELOLAND.com.